hello again. Our next speaker is Kuchta. She's currently a student of management and social policy. She loves fantasy books and comics and horror. And she basically spent half of her life LARPing. Right now she's a camp counselor on LARP camps. And she's going to tell you about current situation of teenagers in Polish LARP community. A round of applause, please.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, I'm going to talk about teenagers in exactly Polish LARP community, because I don't know how teenagers are LARPing in different countries, so I'm not talking about this. But later I love to hear how it looks like in your countries. To tak zadziała? Tak. And about who we are talking about, especially people under 18 until 18 years old, because this is the legal age of being adult in Polish. So because of legal stuff, some people don't want teenagers on their LARPs because they are afraid of what parents do, what can happen. They are afraid of legal responsibility. But it's not true exactly, because if we are not a legal organization, if we just doing some LARPs, it's like a party. You are not responsible for kid who is in your party. There's legal responsible on parents, so it's a little bullshit. And yeah, in Poland we have so much difference between places, because in Poznań, it's a city, is so much small games, small cheap games, but in Wrocław is a city when I'm growing up. It's not. It's one or two game per year, and they were so expensive. Yeah. Okay, so what is the problem exactly for young players? So much LARPs are for people over 18 years old, but sometimes they shouldn't be over 18 years old, because you don't have plot about something that teenagers can't play, because teenagers shouldn't play sexual things or things with drugs, but the rest is good. I'm hear one argument sometimes that teenagers aren't good players because they have small life experience. But it's not true, because I don't know, someone doesn't have experience being in mafia, but he can play being in mafia. It's not working like that. It's not a good argument. Yeah. Problem is that the games are far away. So for young people who have parents, they can't go, because parents like, no, you aren't go to the other city, 30 kilometers from here, because it's too far. You can't go. So yeah, it's a problem. It's difficult to start, because teenagers can't find games, because games. You should describe your games if they are okay to the teenagers. It's important, because it's difficult to start for them, because they are afraid of community for reasons. Group are exclusive. It's another point. They are afraid of being in community because community is so exclusive. They aren't feel necessary in this community, and it's a big problem for them. It's feeling of rejection. Yeah, my friend who is there, Gabriela Kruszona, do some research about this, and this was the most chosen problem of being in LARPs as a teenager. So feeling of rejection. It's yeah, okay. Chyba mi przeskoczyły. Tak. Okay, and problems of young designers of LARPs. They have lack of feedback because most more experienced players aren't go to this LARP. And I know not everyone wants go for this kind of LARP, and it's maybe not good, and you don't know spend time on this, but it's important because we need these designers for us, because someday we will do not have designers, and they are lack of possibilities to put LARPs, and they don't know how to do the LARP, or where they can do the LARP and how they can do the LARP. They don't know this because no one is teach them how to do this. Okay, and why we should care about this? Why is our problem? I think we are not teenagers anymore. Since March, I'm not teenager anymore. Yeah, it's decreased numbers of designers because, yeah, we are doing LARPs now, but in 5-6 years, maybe we don't want to do LARPs. We want to play LARPs and having fun, but not designers, because no one teach them how to do LARPs, how to put these LARPs to the community, and they don't know how to do this, so they don't do this, and we have no designers, and we have slower development because we are know things, and these young LARPers must search these things alone again and again and again and again. But we can teach them how to do this, and it's a faster way to development the community, because they create a new solution, but they don't have time for this because they must not teach learn things that we know now, but they don't know because we don't teach them. Okay, what we can do exactly, because you know, we're talking about problems, but what we can do. And first is describe your LARP, because so much people just give the information for adult people. Okay, it's good, but not good because some of these LARPs are not for only adult people. They don't have plot that justifies teenagers. They can play this LARP, but the designers just adult people, and you know. So yeah, this is the problem. And when are you doing LARP it's LARP good for the teenagers, you must put the information that is good for the young people, because they don't know, they are afraid of coming, so you must told them that is for them, that they are welcome, that they are needed, and that you want them. because they are afraid, so they can't come if you don't said this. Okay, helping young LARPers in going to LARP. It's important, especially for big LARPs, because legal problems. If someone are 15, they can't go alone because of legal. So maybe you can talk with the organizers and you be caretaker of this person. And in Polish, in many examples, it works. So yeah, it's a good way to helping to this teenager play LARPs. And LARPs productions. Many of these kids wrote their LARP, but they can't have opportunity to give them to public. So maybe you as grown LARPers can be productors, mentoring programs. Maybe you can help do first LARP this teenager. Maybe you write a LARP together. It's good too. And I think the most important one, ask what do they need, because they know what they need, and they're afraid of asking. And mostly, if someone wants to help, it gives, oh, I do this, I do this, I do this, but this teen doesn't want this. He wants specific help, and ask. They are people. They have brain. They can figure it out what they need. So ask what they need, because they are people too, as you. Okay. Czy to się? Okay, nie mam tego sobie. Okay, so if you have any questions, I thought that I have only 15 minutes, not not so much. So if you have any questions, it's a good time, I think. Okay. Microphone.
I would like to ask, because I'm coming from another country and currently I'm living in Krakow, if you want to approach, for example, teenagers to tell them about a LARP event, even for exchange, what's the best way to do that? To go directly to schools, social?
I think the social media is good, because most of the teenagers has social media, so this is the good way. But collaboration with schools, it's good too. As I am teenager, as I was teenager, I put LARPs in my school. But yeah, doing this in schools, LARPs in schools, will make that teenagers know about this. So.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. The Facebook groups for LARPers, especially for group for, I don't know, one city, like not a whole country group, because it's afraid for teenagers. It's really afraid. I was afraid. Yeah. What? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, group on Facebook is good. Social media is good.
Oh, I have a microphone already. What do you think about kids and their parents playing during the same LARP? Do you have any experience or in that, or any thoughts on that?
I don't. My parents don't rozumieją. And don't understand LARPs, but I know, I thought I heard about this. I think we have group in Poland who do this, some kind of LARPing, and I think it's good. I think it's a good idea because these kids, if I were parents, I probably gave my kids to the LARP, probably. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Awesome, thank you.
I have I had this situation from the opposite side on the last LARP Sunday in Krakow. Our friend brought his son to the game, and his son is like a teenager, like almost like 20 now. And he wanted to do serious stuff.
20 or 12?
20, like around.
Okay, it's the same age I am.
Yeah, but so he brought his son, and the son was, doing. Why are you doing such silly stuff in this? Why are you playing those games like we are adults here? So why don't we do, something more serious? So it was also a question how to bring. From the one point is from teenagers how to bring your parents to the LARP. On the other hand, as you are a parent and your kid already goes a teenager, how to bring them. How to not to look silly in their eyes.
Can I have rephrase how it will be helpful for you to if your parents bring you to the LARP? What would help you from your parents?
Because I think if they were in community, I'll be too, because I know someone in here, so I think it's helpful. But I've heard about when kids are small, so 6, 7 years old, not teenagers. So I don't know how to react the teenagers if their parents brought them to LARPs.
All right, so actually I had a friend who had like exactly the same situation. I was really hyped at LARPs, and her parents are really hyped at RPG and getting started at LARPs, but she was so disgusted by it, because it was like silly kids game and her parents were doing silly stuff, and somehow me was hyped by it. And I think that the main reason was that her parents were too hyped, because also when you're a teenager, when you are, I don't know, 14 years old, things that your parents are really excited about are lame. Like, there is no way. And I think it was mostly because they really wanted her to take place in this hobby. And if they were a little bit more chilled, I think she also would like it. But like there was no chill in them. All right.
I think this gonna work if parents brought the kid when the kid is smaller than teenager, because if you are a teenager you won't do this alone. If you want LARPing, not with your parents, I guess. Yeah, so.
But if we like it or not, this situation will happen more and more often, as there are like over 8,000 LARPers in the Polish community, and they are growing older and cannot do anything about it. And some of them have kids, and those kids are growing older, and parents cannot do anything about it either. So there will soon be over 1,000 teenagers whose parents are still LARPing. And since this is a pretty new hobby, we do not, this is like a new issue, but it will, be more and more each year. And I'm really looking forward, how can we set it? Is it like the kids have their games and the parents have their games, or can we actually build bridges because of we can play different roles? I can imagine like teenagers playing, older people playing teenagers, or whatever, and exploring those differences. But I'm very easy to dream.
I have very bad experience with LARPs, wrote but older people about teenagers because it's often like, oh, High school was so fun. Yeah, we smoking and we have nice girls, and it's not working. So yeah, I have bad experience with this.
Yeah, because there's a problem that older people, especially parents, don't want to listen to youngers.
Yeah.
And this is the case that you brought up in this presentation, that there's almost no one who listens to the young people who have idea about LARPs. And if we manage to give them space, for example, LARP about teenagehood made by teenagers would be something that adults could help adults understand their kids more. That would be fantastic experience, I think.
Yeah, I wrote LARP about teenagers, and welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, to elaborate on that, I think in LARPs, just to spin that idea a bit more, LARPs done by teenagers, on the one hand empowering them to bring in their own topics, to become the experts of their own lived experiences, would leave them as the experts and the adults coming in to explore this world with them. And I'm not so much an expert of LARP communities, but I see this in so many other communities where certain people, gatekeepers basically, trying to close up this community which they deem, and oftentimes it is white, privileged men, heterosexual, able-bodied, you can go on, trying to prevent people coming in, trying to prevent them from losing some artificial thing which never could have been their thing in the first place. I think it's great to see the two of you. Thank you for your presentation. It's great to see that LARP is more than just old white men playing. It's great that it's so diverse, and it's gonna continue.
I'm just
in
white.
the future. Certainly. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. We have 2 minutes if you want to said about something.
Since we are getting recorded, I wanted to say, when we do LARPs in Krakow and trying, to invite everyone and so on, and saying like big letters, open event for everybody, and if we make any mistakes or communicate it like badly, or while organizing the events, we just do not make it actually welcoming for either younger people or like too old people or whatever, please tell us, because we are getting old. But we would still
I think
like
I'm
to
the
have
youngest
young players.
I
in
think
the
I'm the
games.
youngest people. I'm the youngest person in Krakow LARP Sundays. I think it may be.
So
Yeah,
you do not
I
need
think we should talk about this.
so you do not need to answer now, but if you can tell me like how to mix it more, I would be happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was doing marketing on winter camps, so maybe something changed.
Okay.
on our Sundays. So yeah.
So let's keep it open.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.